Welcome, everyone, to the global consulting organization FutureCast. This is our multimedia platform for 2030 and beyond, reimagining the future of real estate, where we share the ideas, inspirations, and ideals that will become the foundation for the future built environment. I'm Amit Egan Datwani, the founder and chief consultant of Global Consulting Organization, and on behalf of my fellow members of the GCO Collective, welcome you to this week's edition of the FutureCast. As many of you know, we started on this journey at the end of 2021 when we launched our blog, 2030 and Beyond, Reimagining the Future of Real Estate. And last week, on March 17th, 2022, we just launched our first FutureCast, which is another method that we're creating to share information with you that will ideally help to elevate your commute, lunch break, or exercise routine. In today's update, I wanted to give you a few ideas and perspectives to consider when thinking about your future, your family's future, and potentially your company's future. We've all by now heard about the Great Resignation, the movement where close to 50 million people quit their jobs in 2021. Let me put that into perspective. There are approximately 160 million people working in this country, and over 30% of the country's workforce said, "I'm done" in 2021. Wouldn't that be an awesome t-shirt? Think about that. You may be asking yourself, what's behind this? And if you're not, well, maybe that's why you're tuning in here, because it's something that definitely caught our attention here at Global Consulting Organization. What we've been sharing with you via our blog articles and now the FutureCast is that it's time for a new era in real estate. But that new era is not only going to be limited to real estate. It's a movement that's relevant for all of humanity. And it has to do with the transition to an era in which individuals and businesses are going to be more focused on the human experience and activating a process that we are hereby calling the Great Realignment. Now, a few of the reasons that have been cited in the media for the Great Resignation have included a failure on the business's part to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, workers not feeling valued and respected, and companies not acting with a strong sense of ethics and integrity. But what I want to offer you is a few perspectives on how to think about this transitional time, as we're seeing it as an opportunity for humanity to follow a calling of the heart. This calling may be about where and how you work. It could also be about where you really want to live. And in some cases, people have even decided who they don't want to live with anymore. I believe it's close to 30 million people that moved in 2021 alone. Some have even referred to it as the Great Migration. All this movement and change that we believe will only continue in the years ahead is an opportunity to change the way you look at life. And that's part of the reason why we're calling it the beginning of the Great Realignment. Think about it. During the COVID lockdowns, what did we all have? Time and space. Time and space. Something that we all have lacked for so many years in this heavy, digitally driven age. The time and space to think, take up hobbies that we always wanted to take part in, spend quality time with loved ones, and even spend less time with those that we felt we had to spend time with. For some, they've even taken the initiative to put a greater focus on their health and overall sense of well-being. You get the point. We believe that this has been the silver lining in all the challenges that we've gone through over the past 2 years. To speak to you in GCO terms, what we believe is happening is that humanity is raising its consciousness with regards to what we want out of our lives. And we are now in the process of going back into the world and essentially reclaiming our lives and making the hard decisions and taking the right action steps on how we want to realign the human experience. Which brings me to some recent news that we've been looking at closely, and with which I'll be connecting to our purpose here at GCO. The company that we've been following in the news is one of my favorite brands. I spend a lot of time in their locations, thinking through various challenges that may be going on in my life. In fact, I have a 45-minute time slot blocked out on my calendar 3 times a week, so I can just go sit there and think about the big picture and write. I've also had some of my most interesting conversations with my wife and sons in their coffee shops, where we talk about ideas and how we can enhance our lives. This is especially more enjoyable in those locations where they've made an extra effort to design them to match the local culture and really make it feel like an extension of our home, offices, and the metaverse. The best locations know my name, just like the show Cheers. For those of you that are baby boomers or from Generation X like me, you know what show I'm talking about. If you're a millennial or from Gen Z and you know the show, hats off to you. For those of you that may have guessed it, I'm talking about Starbucks. Full disclosure, I'm not a shareholder or have any type of incentive here to share this information. I'm just a very passionate customer that loves the experience of going to their coffee shops. Although the reason why they've made headlines recently is due to their employees wanting to unionize, I'm not going to be focusing on that development because I believe it's happened to better prepare the company for 2030 and beyond. Instead, I'll be sharing some information for you to consider as to why this all may be happening. When I think of Starbucks, I think of the company that project started the love that many of us now have for the coffee shop experience. Whether it be a big brand like Starbucks or your local mom and pop coffee shop. Many of our informed listeners out there know a lot of the socially conscious initiatives that Starbucks has taken in the fast food industry, but I'm still going to touch on a few of those. Starbucks has made a commitment to 100% ethically sourced coffee, in addition to committing to invest at least $50 million in the Starbucks Global Farmer Fund that provides financing to coffee farmers. They've also spent over $25 million in efforts to create more sustainable communities for their coffee and tea growers. They've also offered opportunity to their employees for stock ownership, which has resulted in $1.5 billion in gains for the employees to date. But there are 2 other particularly notable points that speak to our core purpose here at GCO, and they'll ideally give you a little bit more clarity on why I'm presenting this information today. CEO Howard Schultz has said, "Our core purpose and reason for being is to build the right kind of company that creates a fragile balance between profit and doing the right thing." Let me repeat that for you. Our core purpose and reason for being is to build the kind of company that creates a fragile balance between profit and doing the right thing. Sound familiar? He's also passionately talked about always wanting to create an experience that makes you want to come back for more. Again, sound familiar? All this talk and action by Schultz and the company is beyond impressive. The company has built itself to become the second largest growing fast food operator with revenues of over $29 billion in 2021, second only to McDonald's. Accomplishing that type of growth and creating the culture and experience is something that I'm constantly blown away by when I visit what I call their special occasion cafes, like their higher end roastery concepts, as well as some of their limited edition reserve bars. But after the pandemic, I've noticed a dip in the overall experience and haven't had the third place experience that they have become so well known for. For those who are wondering what I mean by that, Starbucks has tried to become a third place in our lives, a place that is outside of our homes and our workspaces where we connect and build community. Where we connect and build community. And while this has become a hallmark of the brand experience over the years for most locations, most recently, it seems like their focus is more on the intellectual and artificial intelligence and the overall dehumanization of the coffee shop experience, where much of the focus and investment is on mobile and pickup only locations. Initiatives like their community stores, which seeks to open coffee shops in underrepresented neighborhoods, have all but dwindled. The result from all of this seems to be that it's cost the company a lot of goodwill with their employees, and especially those customers like me who first fell in love with the brand because of the community experience. For our devout readers in listening to this, you may be reminded of our most recent blog article, which we entitled, What It Means for 15-Minute Cities to Deliver Dynamic Convenience for a Well-Balanced Life, where we emphasize the importance of human feeling, emotion, and connection to achieve what we call the well-balanced life of dynamic convenience. If you have just 4 minutes to spare and are curious about this concept, I highly recommend reading that blog article, as it will give you a bit more insight into the type of solution that we believe would help a company like Starbucks and many other companies that are now going to be trying to figure out how to enhance their business strategies and realign their sense of purpose for 2030 and beyond. To give you more to ponder and connect it back to some of the work we do here at GCO, the Starbucks experience, or what they refer to as a third place, is one that I'm constantly sharing with clients when working on live, work, play development projects. I like to reference what the Swedes call fika. Fika is the art of taking a break in your day. It's a state of mind. It's the active integration of a daily ritual to share a cup of coffee or tea with a loved one. This idea speaks to the philosophy that we share with clients to think about their properties as real estate experiences, not projects or moneymakers, but experiences where they can create opportunities for humans to connect and develop those relationships that we most treasure in life. I don't have enough time on today's FutureCast to give you a detailed analysis of a potential solution we may propose to Starbucks, but maybe it's time for them to consider creating the fourth place, a destination where we can come together that is not our homes, offices, or you guessed it, the metaverse. As you have and always will hear from us, creating special, unique experiences must be at the forefront of a business and real estate development team's mindset if they want to succeed in 2030 and beyond. It's the reason why we work with clients to establish a crystal clear, unified creative vision right from the beginning stages of a project, so that there's a clear roadmap around a singular intention that brings financiers, developers, and project managers together. How are you realigning your life to better connect with your heart's purpose? Are you going to start carving out some time in your life on a weekly basis to find those special moments to fika? It can even be by yourself. That's just as important. Prioritizing ideas like these is what may help to bring about change and movement in your life and help you to start thinking about how you can better serve humanity through the built environment in the years to come. I thank you for tuning in to today's FutureCast and taking into consideration some of the ideas, inspirations, and ideals that we believe will become the foundation for the future built environment. Cheers to 2030 and beyond.